Now, this is what it was like in Minnesota. Like a scene out of The Revenant or something. When I saw Leonardo DiCaprio in The Revenant, that movie came out not long after he moved to Los Angeles. And I was like, thank God I don't have to freeze like that anymore. The scene where he cuts into the horse and has to sleep in it, which you might have seen in Star Wars, The Empire Strikes Back as well. But when he sleeps in the horse to keep from freezing to death, that's what it feels like to go out and get fucking groceries. Okay, you're like this. You put on a shirt, a sweater, a jacket, layers of clothing just to go walk down the block or whatever. A walk down the block could kill you. Being outside for more than 20 minutes could kill you in the wintertime. And it's winter like half the year out there. So from October until about May, it snows. There's about 3 months of summer, 9 months of winter. And all the people in Minneapolis are like, oh yeah, we love living in a place that has 4 seasons. There's no fucking fall. There's like 2 weeks. There is no spring. It goes from snowing to 80 degrees in like 2 week period. And then fall, there's like everything just dies on the trees. Yeah, the 5 minutes where everything's dying and falling to the ground, that's a literal fall. You're falling into the season, into winter, okay? So there is no fall, there is no spring. They're full of shit. But everybody that you meet loves it there completely. And I'll admit, it's a nice city if you can get past the fact that 99% of people are from there, are from Wisconsin, or that area at least. And, most people don't grow up in Florida thinking, hey, one day I want to freeze my balls off. So there's very few people who move there unless it's for like Target or Best Buy or a big corporation, or maybe to go to the University of Minnesota. There's very few people who move there. Very few people are happy there that are not from there, but everybody who's from there, which is again almost everybody, loves it there. It's like a cult. They're like, we love it here. We're so happy. Don't you just love the snow? And that made it even worse. You'd go outside and there'd be 18 feet of snow or some shit outside. It'd be negative 10 degrees. You'd throw a cup of water in the air. The water would freeze or turn to snow before it hit the ground. But everybody around you's like, oh, isn't it great? We hope it snows some more or whatever. So anyway, that's the culture. And that kind of bleeds into the food a little bit. The food is very heavy. It's very carb heavy. It's very calorie rich. But it's not like the Southeast where it actually tastes good and it's cheap. Minneapolis found a way to make really fatty, bad for you foods expensive, and they don't even taste that great. So in the Southeast, at least, you think, well, I know I'm going to die going to the KFC buffet, but it's like $8 and it's fucking delicious. Or any of the barbecue places, the rib places, the fried chicken places. Minneapolis would, and New York didn't really do pork or barbecue or whatever. There's a lot of people that just don't eat that way. They just don't really, they had like one barbecue place that was like a Brooklyn hipster's idea of what a barbecue place is. Sucked. But Minneapolis is like, oh, here's barbecue, and it'd be really fucking dry. It'd be as dry as a piece of wood or some shoe leather or something. But in Alabama, you think, oh, I can't stop eating this food. It's so rich, it's so flavorful, it's so tangy, and that's why you can't lose the weight. In Minneapolis, you can't lose the weight because you can't go outside except for about 3 or 4 months out of the year. And that didn't stop the people who grew up that way and live that way and know that way. So you go outside and you see all these blonde Aryan couples looking like Hitler Youth running laps around all the fucking lakes. Oh, we got 50,000 lakes. We got a bunch of lakes or whatever. So all their lakes and shit, you'd see the blonde couples running around. And yeah, Mr. and Mrs. Blonde, fit, in shape Minnesotan or whatever, they love it there. They're in really good shape. They like it. I got this when I first got up to almost 300 pounds. I gained a shitload of weight. I went from my New York weight, as thin as I've ever been in the 220s to 200s, all the way up to about 270, which set the foundation for me to get up to 300 pounds in LA. And it was just purely the lifestyle. It was the fact that you have vitamin deficiencies because you can't get the sun. You eat a lot of rich, carb-heavy foods. They like cheese curds. They like deep dish pizza. They like anything kind of like, just carb-heavy. And it's partly because the weather is so bad. So you get used to that. If you grew up with that, you get used to it and you eat that way, but you exercise a lot, you burn it off, which is why a lot of Minnesotans are actually really in shape. It's the opposite of Alabama. Alabama is the second fattest state in the country. Minnesota is one of the most in shape states in America, especially the Minneapolis area. It might be like, I believe after Salt Lake City, it might be the most in shape city in America. So there's that dynamic, but yet I'm in a place where I'm gaining weight while everybody else is like, doing 18,000 crunches a day or some shit like that, these crazy diets, and that made it so much worse. At least in Alabama, I'm fat around other people who are fatter than me. In Alabama, I could be 300 pounds and be like, hey, you're looking good, or you down to a size 42 pant, that's pretty good, or whatever. So, I mean, you could be a model in Alabama looking like me, but in Minneapolis, it'd be like, what do you mean you don't have 8-pack abs? What's wrong with you? So I think that made it a really tough place to adjust to, tough place to live to. But I have to admit, even now, being out of there and complaining as much about the weather, the people, the culture, the food, the weight gain, I still probably go to the state fair, and I still probably would eat cheese curds, and I still probably would like to have a deep fried Twinkie or deep fried peanut butter sandwich or any of that shit that they serve at the state fair. It doesn't really taste that good, and it's like $20, but you kind of get used to eating shit after a while.